Hi everyone, it's Melinda. So today we're going to be looking at my beryl specimens and different varieties of beryl. I recently had a conversation with someone on one of the wonderful Facebook mineral groups about Amazonite. This person thought Amazonite was similar to emerald, so it was pretty obvious that she was confusing Amazonite with aquamarine, which is easy to do when you're just starting out. And it dawned on me that a lot of people don't realize that a lot of the minerals that we know by popular names are actually within the same family, and emerald, aquamarine, morganite, and heliodor are a prime example of that. They're all beryls. Another reason why I wanted to start with beryl today is because as I filmed this on the Sunday of the long weekend, we should technically be on my tour right now digging for beryl. And some of the beryl that I'm going to show you today is kind of examples of actual specimens that we grab while we're on my 4-day adventure tour over the long weekend in May, usually, but because of COVID, here we are. We're watching a video instead. Not quite as, exciting, but hopefully good all the same. So to start off, beryl is a relatively rare silicate mineral. Even on my tour, it is a little bit hit and miss if you're going to find it. It's not a guaranteed find. It's a little bit difficult. I know a specific spot that was shown to me last year, thankfully, by some lovely people on my tour, that tends to be a little bit richer in beryl, so we can definitely look there if that's one of your, one of your must finds or hope to finds. But it's definitely not just going to be easy to pick through the dumping area and find beryl. It is a little bit difficult. So the more common beryl that we can find on my tour here in Ontario is this brown beryl. And it's a little bit of a yellowy brown, if you ask me. I'll show you close up. Found in feldspar. There's a crystal poking out right there. Another one kind of cut off in there. And it's going to sound strange, but these brown beryl, or maybe it's not so strange, maybe I don't know why it's not strange, but these brown beryl specimens have a really strong smell. A very strong minerally smell. And here's my thickest crystal of brownish yellow beryl. There we go. So you can see the structure of the crystal. It's a bit rough, but I'm still quite pleased with it. Right. Okay. I don't know if I said this yet, but beryl has served as a minor ore for beryllium. And it does range in a variety of colors around the world. And the ones that we know most are emerald, aquamarine, heliodor, which I don't have listed here because I don't have it in my collection yet. Someday I hope to, but not quite yet. And morganite, which I do have a tiny little piece of. So we'll start with emerald. I have one emerald. It's very rough and raw. It's not hyper translucent, but it is most certainly green. There's no denying that it's green. And it was still a little bit on the pricey side. Even if it's not a very precious looking emerald, they do tend to be a little bit pricier. They are the most popular of the beryl family and the most valuable. So within the mineral world, there's often a lot of disagreements. You can kind of see the structure from this angle. It's broken up, but still. So there's a lot of disagreements within the mineral world between buyers and sellers judging the color boundaries for emerald, and they're quite particular about emerald in general. Like, some say not every piece of green beryl should be considered emerald, some should just be considered green beryl. So it does tend to be a little bit more of like a prestigious mineral, and There's even controversy about whether or not we should consider some of them to be called emerald if they have chromium that makes them green or vanadium that makes them green. There's just a lot of controversy about identifying emerald in general. But I purchased this one that was identified as emerald. It's quite green, it's quite obviously green, so I'm sticking with emerald because that brings me joy. Alright, so the next most popular beryl mineral would be aquamarine, that beautiful vibrant blue stone that we all know. It can range from a greenish blue to a blue. So you can see here, this is probably typical color of aquamarine that people would, you know, have in their mind's eye when they think of it. Again, this one was a little bit pricier. It's nice and translucent, and it is obviously blue. This one, on the other hand, is almost like a mint green. I love, love, love the color. And it's certainly not the deep green of like an emerald, so they've kind of categorized it as aquamarine, which is totally okay with me. I love it. So unlike emerald, buyers and sellers tend to be a little bit more lenient when it comes with aquamarine. Basically any bluish, greenish bluish stone that is obviously beryl can be considered aquamarine. But generally the clearer and darker blue ones would be the more valuable ones. So on my tour, we do, the 4-day tour, the 4-day adventure tour, we do find little tiny bits of aquamarine. It's even harder to find than the brown and yellow beryl, but certainly not impossible. There we go. You can see right here, it's like a darker, a much darker blue in this case. Just right there. And these ones, like I said, are very faint. It's much more challenging to find aquamarine beryl in our Ontario locations. It's certainly not impossible. See that blue at the tip there? And then just tiny bits of blue crystal on that one as well. So that's kind of an example of the little aquamarine pieces that you can find while on my 4-day adventure tour. In Sudbury, Ontario, however, there is a location that I know of where we can find these tiny, very sparkly, very translucent aquamarine crystals in a very difficult to chip feldspar matrix. And I hope to bring people to this location when I do a Sudbury tour. That is in the plan. However, if you plan on going on that tour, it is really difficult to get this stuff out. This is my best specimen right here. It's so difficult. My dad had to do it for me, and he's a very large, muscular man. Here's some little pieces in this one down here. So I was told about this location from a very nice gentleman in Sudbury, and he originally thought that these blue crystals were blue apatite, but they looked a little different than blue apatite to me, and they're very much in a pegmatite that was similar to what I'd experienced with blue aquamarine rather than apatite. Like, this is a beautiful white albite feldspar rather than calcite, which would be more associated with apatite, generally speaking. Here we go. Some nice bigger pieces in this chunk here. So I had my suspicions, and I brought a couple of specimens to a geologist to look at under a scope, and he right away knew that it was a beryl, that they were beryl crystals, so that was very exciting, and I'll definitely be happy to share that with anyone who'd like to come along on my Sudbury tour adventure. There we go. Here's an example in jewelry. I make little raw mineral pendants like these. I like to keep my minerals raw in jewelry for some reason. But you can see the blue aquamarine crystals. And there's even a little bit of moonstone right here that I just love. Let's see if I can get closer. There we go. See? There you have it. So that's a beauty. Here are some aquamarine stud earrings. They were purchased in Bali in Indonesia. Alright, so apart from these and apart from Heliodor, the last type of beryl in the family that we most often see in gem stores, mineral stores, would be Morganite. And I just have this little tiny piece. Nothing overly, showy, but I just wanted to have a little piece in my collection. So Morganite is often sometimes called pink beryl or rose beryl. It's a very rare variety of beryl, which is why I just have this tiny little piece. They can be quite expensive. So it ranges in color between yellowish orange, orange, pink, and a lilac. And they're often labeled rose, salmon, or peach. And this one in particular was labeled peach. And the reason why this beryl has turned a pinkish color is because there are trace amounts of manganese mineral included inside of it. Cool, huh? Alright. One last look at all of my beryl beauties. Yeah, so Emerald, Aquamarine, Morganite, and also Heliodor are all beryl. And you can have just regular beryl as well, like these ones over here. Alright, I hope everyone enjoyed that. Look forward to seeing you next time. Bye!